Former President Bill Clinton is giving his fellow Democrats a harsh reality check. Clinton says the economy is not in a great place and Democrats need to stop claiming otherwise.
I would say two things. I'd say we can't keep asserting that things are great in the economy. In some senses, they are great. But first of all, we're saddled with some cost of living challenges, which are not unique to the United States. But it's pretty hard if you're out there in the middle of the country and you're working hard and you've got 2 or 3 kids and you have to watch every penny you make. And secondly, the economic benefits of the current recovery have been widely shared where it has stuck.
All right, before you get too excited over that, like, oh, mansplaining the truth and everything else, just a short time ago while campaigning for Vice President Kamala Harris, Bill Clinton admitted the economy was bad, but to vote for Kamala Harris anyway. Let's watch.
I don't think it's right to say that people have to vote for Donald Trump because the economy was better there.
Boy, there are some political games being played on the left right now. Like, we don't have the tape of what they said 15 days ago.
Yeah, you know, when I was concerned, you know, what does the get out the vote look like? Are Republicans up to par? Because the reporting was all Democrats have this great GOTV. A dad said to me, hey, Kaylee, the get out the vote is inflation. And it turned out to be 100% correct. That was the tailwind that sent people to the polls. But there was this great debate playing out in the Democratic Party, all the way back to the State of the Union with Biden. He was saying, you know, inflation is coming down, jobs are going up, the economy's great. And political advisors were telling him, please do not say that, Mr. President. Kamala comes on, rides in on her, you know, big golden horse and starts saying, I get it. Prices are too high. Let's go after price gouging. That did not work. And what are they going to say when Donald Trump, I believe, will create a roaring economy? Are they then going to try to tell us the economy is bad? I mean, there's just this whiplash, and it's just cognitive dissonance for America.
Well, what are they going to say when they have to fix inflation again because it ticked up 2 Fridays ago, right after the election? I mean, this was just, they were lying. They were lying to the American public that things were going to get better under Kamala Harris.
That's right. And I think that what makes this so easy to see now as well is because the American people voted quite clearly with common sense. So this wasn't sort of a nuanced, you know, two-party, like, well, we have different approaches to this economic system and how it'll... There was one side that was sort of the clearly large majority of America that said, we are sick of inflation. And here's exactly how we can address it. By eliminating regulations, by fostering entrepreneurship, by stop saddling the heavy federal bloat, by stop wasting our tax dollars through waste and fraud and abuse and also ridiculous. Like the answers were clear. And so for the American people to be told, no, don't believe your pocketbooks, don't believe the stress you have at the grocery store or with your families, your shrinking 401k and the like, and then listen to me as we change our minds and flip-flop. No, Bill Clinton's just talking common sense. And that's what everyone had, and that's what everyone hopes that we can now get back to, thanks to President-elect Donald Trump.
But when the election was on the line, he was willing to lie about it.
Well, of course.
You saw it. Everybody saw that for themselves.
That's how he was a 2-term president. I mean, there's one thing he knows how to do, it's lie.
But he had a good economy, Bill Clinton.
Well, he did, and it doesn't matter if she's got certain metrics that are working well for certain people or that are good by comparison to countries in Western Europe. That doesn't matter if you can't afford things, and that's what she didn't appropriately acknowledge. You know, she would shift a little bit here and there, and at rallies and in speeches, she would say, yeah, things have gotten really expensive the last 3 years, huh? And it's like, you've been vice president. You are number 2 in this administration. It is your policies and your bad post-COVID policy that created this environment, and we are the ones who have to live with it. And the people who can't afford to live with it anymore, they're the ones who voted them out of office.
It's so true.
But this is not the first time. He had the same advice for Hillary Clinton in 2016, his wife, and she wouldn't take his advice. So do I think he's the greatest politician ever? No, but he knows how to lie to get elected. She was not smart enough to talk herself out of a paper bag full of skeptics.
Well, and now Bill Clinton tells the truth about how bad it is and what kind of hole that Democrats have to dig themselves out of and get ready in 2 years to fight for at least one chamber of Congress, if they can do that in 2026.
Can't have a 90s playbook to do that, though. And that's still what they're operating with.
So, Ian, you know, when you look at the total picture here, the infrastructure of the argument still for Democrats is catch up. They're catching up to what Americans were already feeling, as we've all laid out here. They're catching up with how to turn things around, and now it's not in their hands. And they still want you to believe that they can do it, but then those higher inflation rates come out from 2 Fridays ago. And last I checked, Biden and Harris are still in office. Like, if they were going to fix it for legacy point, fix it now. They can't.
Because their policies don't allow them to fix it. I mean, their policies are the reason why we're here. But I'll say on Clinton, you know, look, you can say what you want about Clinton. He was a savvy politician in his prime, right? And I've got this visual of that Bill Clinton has been in solitary confinement at the DNC, and every once in a while they'll let him out to go talk, and then he'll say something that's not quite on message, and they put him back in. And I think he escaped. And I think he's like, that's it, I'm done. I'm done with these people. I'm actually going to, like, I don't want my legacy as a savvy politician to go down with Kamala Harris and this version of the Democrat Party. So I'm going to actually go tell the truth for once.
Well, and somebody who really understood the power of the economy and the power of the vote and how connected those two things.
Right.
I feel your pain.
Exactly.
Bill Clinton. So he got it, and he realizes if they don't get it this time, they'll just continue to lose. I mean, it's just, it really is insidious.
Well, I mean, they just haven't learned the lesson from the election. Sure, there's, occasional Democrats out there, like Seth Moulton will come out and say something, and then, of course, he'll get canceled. But by and large, Democrats have not learned what this election was about, and they're going to continue to make these mistakes.
Talking now against transgender and sports or whatever he's spewing, although he voted for the Bill of Rights of transgender in his state. Okay. So much duplicity.